Good morning. My name is May Alamari, and it's what day is it? Uh, Wednesday, December. I always have to look at my whiteboard calendar. Wednesday, December 2nd at 12:46 p.m. Um, and I'm sorry, it's been 2 days since I what do you call it? Since I did this YouTube video blog. So I apologize for that. I think the last one that I did kind of messed me up. So I'm back to normal. Thank you, God. And we'll just go with it. So I decided to put some makeup on because it makes me feel better, and I look happier, even though I'm not happier. Wednesday, December 2nd, 12:46 p.m. And I'm not happy because I'm still overweight, and I can't, I can't do the struggle of the battle with the bulge and blame other people, blame myself, or blame the gym or yell at the gym people because that gym is really small, and I have to wait for machines. I don't have to wait for cardio, which is nice, but I do have to wait for machines. And, there's a lot of people, and can't keep just waiting for machines. So I want LA Fitness to open, and it won't. So my backup plan is this fitness center that I'm part of now called me to hire a personal trainer, and yeah, that costs money, but in the long run, it might actually suit me better to hire a personal trainer. And so they called me on November 25th, and right now it's December 2nd. So yeah, it takes me some time to answer my phone calls because I'm so fucking stressed out. So that was a week ago, and since that week though, this is what I did. So I bought another journal. This was $5 at FedEx, and I love FedEx because I love them, because they do things really quickly with everything in my life. And the front of the book looked like this, and the back of the book also looks like this. It's black and white, and I'm not going to say anything about that, but basically it's a journal book, and I need to write. And so what I'm going to do, what do you call it? What I've done in the week is committed to follow my expenses and all my expenses and what I've spent money on from January to November of 2020, and so that I can get back on plan with the Dave Ramsey, Financial Peace University. As far as now, I paid off all my debts, including my student loan debt. So I'm basically zero grateful. I'm very grateful that I'm at zero owing any debt. I don't owe any debt. My debt is zero. So thank you, God. I'm pretty sure the check cleared. I'm going to have to check my student loan account to make sure it cleared, so that, the money just didn't go out in la la land. But I'm pretty sure it went to them. So if it didn't, then, that's another problem I have to deal with, but hopefully it did. Now I can, buy a new car and trade mine in. And so I make decisions based on, the money that I spend over the year. And I've kind of laxed on that for the last 3 years. And so I'm kind of in trouble financially because I don't have a job. I don't have income coming in. And I'm afraid that my savings is going to kind of dwindle to zero. So I'm freaked out. And that's what I've been freaking out about. And my weight reflects that freaking out. So every time my weight goes up, that means it's a red flag for me to hunker down and figure out my finances. Because so this is what I created. I put these on here. So I bought a ledger, the home office budget, which was this is all Dave Ramsey stuff that doesn't. I mean, Dave Ramsey stuff does not work, but FedEx stuff does work because it works for a woman. I'm a woman. Dave Ramsey stuff doesn't work for me as a woman. So, but FedEx stuff does. And not that this is a plug for FedEx, but it is kind of because I've relied on FedEx as a professional white lab coat pharmacist all my damn life, and they've never failed me. In fact, FedEx has been so awesome and beautiful and respectful of my professional white lab coat job that that I can just pretty much get anything done. I mean, shoot, I printed my wedding pictures at FedEx, which is, to some people might like sound ridiculous. Like, why would you go to, well, because FedEx is like that good. So they're good for me. And that's what I appreciate. So basically these are the two tools I'm going to use. And the fitness stuff, it just doesn't work for me, logging the fitness. I mean, yeah, I bought this book. I have used it a little bit, the Fit book, but it doesn't work because it requires a lot of entering of data. And yeah, tracking your calories is important. On the other hand, I know my calories are a direct result. My calories, I mean, I'm eating 2,000 calories a day. That's a lot of calories for a 5'4" short person like me. So once a week to log my calories, I can do that every day. It's not very useful and it stresses me out and I end up depressed and suicidal. So I'm not going to use this every day, even though I could. I'm not going to. Maybe I will use it when I hire my personal trainer, because he or she, I'm probably going to hire a guy, because all my personal trainers have been men. And I lose a lot of weight with my personal trainer, because not only does he train me to lift weights and get out of my fat thinking, but he also ends up being my therapist. So, emotionally, I feel secure with my personal trainers. And I've had personal trainers all my life for 20 years. In fact, for 30 years. And it's not really how I got into debt. I got into debt because of the workplace. And that's a whole nother story. I'm not even going to get into that right now, because people in the workplace are very mean to me. And so I'm not in the workplace right now because of that, because they're mean. And I'm tired of dealing with mean people. I deserve to have nice people in my life. And so far so good. These people have, treated me with love and respect and money. Love and respect equals money. So anyway, this is going to be my home office budget. I'm going to make it myself. I watched this through Budget Mom. There's a thing on Instagram called Budget Mom, and she did the same thing, and now she's selling it as a book. Now, I'm not interested in making money off of any of the stuff I'm doing right now, because that's not my motivation. My motivation is to lose weight and get rid of this fat body. That's my motivation. So great if it makes money. I'm not in it for the money. What I'm in it for is to get a paycheck so I can pay my taxes in April of 2021. That's why I need to do this, because, some of the things that I make, I have to pay taxes on. And so that's how I'm going to plan it out. So I'm going to use this. And I put pictures of, Paris, Milano, Venice, and Rome, because Europeans have a great way of staying in shape. And I went to Paris when I was 30 years old, fell in love with a guy. We were supposed to get married, but we didn't. But I swear all the women there are really tall and thin. I haven't seen really an overweight European French woman. And so what do? They walk a lot, and they have public transportation. So they have public transportation, things that they don't have here in the United States. And, we've relied so much on the car that it's made us all obese. And if I say that to, an automotive industry, they would probably crush me and probably send out a killer to kill me, because they get paid, obviously, by selling cars. So I don't get paid by selling cars. And so anyway, I want a European lifestyle here, and the Pan Am lifestyle, which means, healthier body weight, more walking, more walkways, more parks. And that's why I put that here, because everybody in Europe, they have mass transportation. They have subways and trains and railways and, tons of different ways to get from point A to point B outside of, traffic and buying these big, huge cars, because big, huge cars don't really fit on European roads. And they have, small cars, and I call them smart cars. Now we have smart cars. So I appreciate smart cars because this population is just getting bigger and bigger, and they're not using birth control to limit their population. And so there's so many damn people, you just can't, not everybody can have a car, because number one, you can't afford it. Number two, it's terrible for our lungs to breathe that carbon monoxide every damn day. And number three, we end up fat, we end up overweight because we're not walking. And so anywho, my fit lifestyle is going to include, a little bit of European lifestyle influence because it works. So that's what I'm going to do. Enough about that. All right. So I'm still 7 years sober. I went to a Celebrate Recovery meeting yesterday. So I'm feeling overall, I'm feeling really good and productive. And I'm ready. I'm ready to start my, my hunkering down as far as expenses, stop spending money, stop buying clothes. I bought a lot of things in the last week, and I'm hoping some of it wasn't unnecessary, but some of it is. Like I bought a room heater because they don't have heat here, and so that that cost me a bundle, $35, and I bought some clothes. And do I need the clothes? They're motivation for me to work out. So yeah, I need the clothes. Do I need clothes every day or every week? No. So I need to hunker down and lower my spending on that. On food, yeah, I've been spending, and so I need to regulate that as well. And so you can call it food addiction or spending addiction or spendaholics. I wouldn't call myself a spending addiction or spendaholic, because I've overcome that. That is the reason that it ended me. That's the reason I walked into Celebrate Recovery in 2013. So 7 years later, 7 years later, here I am. And so I joined the depression anxiety group because I've had a lot of depression and anxiety in the last week. And I can't really put a finger on why. All I can say is change is about to happen in my life, and I need to prepare. And that's what I do. So am I doing the right steps? Probably not. But I lost another pound. So I lost 2 pounds. I gained the 2 pounds back. I lost the pound. So I'm still in the gaining, weight. And so I need to reevaluate the way I'm spending my money. And when I was young, not young, but in my 30s, 20 years ago, I used to watch Susie Orman, and she used to say that weight reflects, your money. So health and wealth come side by side with each other. And so that if your health is good, then your wealth should also be good. If your wealth is good, then your health should be good. Well, obviously that's not the case in some people's lives. And, so you can make an extrapolation or analogy saying, if you're overweight, then that means your money is off. And if you're, within your body weight, which I'm not, then if you're within your body weight, that means that your spending is within balanced as well. And so I'm kind of going back to that because I know that my weight is off. So that means my spending needs to change, and I need to bring income in before I end up, with a zero income for the next 2021. I had a zero income for 2020, pretty much. And, being on welfare, it sucks. It really, really sucks. I'm tired of being broke. So this I'm wearing because it's for self-esteem and confidence. And that's what they said. So anyway, yeah, my ex-boyfriend is still paying for my cell phone. And, I haven't even talked to him probably 8-9 months. And, yeah, he's an ex-government employee. So he's got money in every month, gets his paycheck, and he's retired. So, I mean, the responsible thing for me to do is, to say, I tried to take the payments over But they're like 80 to 100 bucks a month. I can't afford that right now. I don't even make that much that, so I'm grateful. Thank you. And Bob, you've been a tremendous help in my life. And I told him to pay for it until December of 2020. So I have until January 1st to get a new phone or decide what I'm going to do, So eventually, if he stops paying the bill, then I'll go get a new phone. So that's what I'm going to do. Worst case scenario. That's not something I'm going to worry about anymore because it's not my problem. I haven't never really gotten a job through a phone, and I've been kind of on and off the phone situation, for 5 years. Do I need a phone? Do I not need a phone? You know where I am, so I don't really need a phone. I'm here all the time. So if you want to get a hold of me, you just come here. Period. End of story. So the other thing that I bought at FedEx was this. And nobody else is allowed in my life. So I bought a calendar. It's a 2021 calendar, and it's quite big, I know. And I'm going to start with December because it's the 1st of December. So I might change it to 2020 over here so that I could start using it. So, it's only a day, whatever. I know how to do that. So this has helped me when I was a pharmacist because you kind of have a big picture view. You have a big picture view, basically. So I'm an organizational coach, I guess is what you can call it. I'm an organizational person. I'm going to be an organizational entrepreneur, hopefully a coach that, is going to charge, I don't know, $250 an hour to help you organize your life because I can organize your weight. I can organize your food. I can definitely organize your time and I can organize your money, really. And so I'm going to use this calendar to organize my money. That's what I use that for, because it works. That's how I got out of debt. That's how I got out of debt, is organizing calendars, my calendar, organizing my calendar. So if you're not on my calendar, you're never going to be into my life ever, and I used to have a boss that used to say that if you're not on my calendar, you're not going to be part of my life. Okay. So to be able to be on my calendar means you need to bring me, you need to bring in money for me. Okay. So, hiring a personal trainer, that's going to bring money into me and my life because number one, you're going to monitor my weight. Number two, you're probably going to take my measurements, tell me how fat I am, and number three, I'm going to pay you to do that. So I have to get back to that. So personal trainer will definitely get on my calendar for sure. And I commit to that today. And I will do that by the end of the week. I promise. So that's why I have a calendar. The calendar also is going to be able to put a ledger for me as far as dollars coming into my bank accounts because I can't be at zero anymore. So I got to make money. So I don't know, take my savings and invest it in something so it grows bigger. That would make sense. That's what I used to do as a pharmacist. In my Fidelity accounts, but I'm not a pharmacist anymore. I don't have an income. I can't be a pharmacist because some assholes in Sacramento changed the law for pharmacists to be licensed, and they excluded me. So anyone who graduated and took the national board exam called the NAPLAX before 2004, which I did, has to retake it. And I took it in 1989 and I passed it. So it's, am I going to fight the Board of Pharmacy? No, I'm not going to. You got to pick your battles. And what are you going to do? I can't fight them. How am I going to fight them? What am I going to do? Get them in a boxing gloves? You can't do that. So I'm not going to fight them. And they freaking, changed the law on me, and it fucking sucks. So, I tried to study in 2014. I bought all the materials and went to all the fucking classes, and forget about it. Yeah, I have a high IQ, but I also have severe anxiety and depression over being broke and homeless. So fuck you, just fuck you, Board of Pharmacy. Fuck you, you fucking assholes. That change the law back and make me a grandfather me back in that I can, practice as a licensed pharmacist. I went to school 3 times. 1989, I graduated with a bachelor's. What else? 1990, I almost graduated with my doctorate of pharmacy. And again, I graduated in, 2010. So that is recent pharmacy uh, knowledge and information that I have in my brain. I don't need to take the NAPLEX again to prove that I can practice as a pharmacist, because I'm damn fucking good as a pharmacist. And, if you want to tell me you're not good unless you pass the boards, then, fuck you, assholes. And so, that's my trigger. And so, my brothers or sisters would call and say, oh, just take the exam again. No, I'm not taking the exam. Do you want to fucking take the exam at the age of 54? Do you? Something that you passed when you were 23 years old. Do you want to take that exam with 500 fucking questions? You have to memorize, 10,000 words. Forget about it, So anyway, that's my rant and rave. The answer is no. Glad I got that out of the way. So I'm not going to be a pharmacist here in California, unfortunately. And it fucking sucks. That's why I'm homeless. So thanks for letting me share. I think that's it about that. So what am I going to do for a living? I have no idea. I think I'm just going to stay here and get, my rent for free, which, this is free. So, I mean, it's not really free. I'm giving my time up. But on the other hand, what else can I do? I can lower my weight. I can, get in better shape. I can hire a trainer. I can keep going to the gym, and I can get my budget in line. I mean, so what's that going to buy me? Nothing, probably. But, at the end of the day, how hard really do you want to fight with somebody to give you your human rights to live as a human being, and it's going to make me cry right now. I made this public, and the Board of Pharmacy in Sacramento, California hardly is going to watch my YouTube video, and so I'm not worried about that. Even if I am worried about it, they can't do anything about it because I'm still licensed in the state of Michigan. So I'm not going to go back to Michigan, because Michigan is really a hard state to live in. There are no jobs. They put so many pharmacy students through school that they basically pushed me out the door and made me unemployed and homeless. So, they have 330 pharmacists graduating every damn year. And so I was left without a job. I mean, it's just a mathematical issue. You're going to bring that many people into college, graduate them. And then what do you do with us old timers? That sucks. So here I am, homeless. Thanks a lot, Michigan, fucking assholes. So I got no love for Michigan anymore because of what they did to me. So that's that. So that's why I don't contact anybody of my family members in Michigan, because, they saw me as a pharmacist, and now they have to see me as a homeless woman. I'm not a girl anymore. I'm a homeless woman, and I'm homeless because of the system. And, you men did it to me. So, all your spiritual pornography that you kind of, pushed in my face every damn day, it's over. I got my, what do you call it? I got my recovery at Living Waters, and you call it love addiction. It's actually sexual addiction that you have. And I ran as far away as possible from you. And so now today, I want to talk about my upbringing and the Muslim abuse that I received from my brothers, and particularly my sister-in-laws. And so the story goes like this. My name is May. I was born in May 22nd, 1966. And my first Lebanese sister-in-law came into my life in 1994. I was dating a Muslim guy that I was supposed to marry. He was a dentist, and he's still a dentist. And his brother was a physician, and it's still a physician. And, their Lebanese Muslim attitudes were so egregious that it not only stressed my mom out, it stressed me out. And so I became a workaholic to escape. And then I started drinking. And so, my real life story is this. It isn't that I was sexually abused and molested by my brother, which which I was, it was actually the real harm that lingers, and is why I went to the depression group yesterday, is because of my sister-in-law's Lebanese Muslim spiritual abuse, and it's really hard to talk about because it hits such a nerve with me, causes me so much pain emotionally, and I ran into addictions. Like, I even, I at some point I was in mania and bipolar because of them. Um, and so people do really affect your emotional state to the point of being bipolar. And I don't think I'm bipolar anymore. Um, on the other hand, though, I do have those tendencies, so I can go manic on overspending, overeating, and it results in addictions, and so I don't want to relapse. That's kind of the 12-step program in a nutshell. Is that somebody can really irk you so fucking bad, like my family. That they push you right into the addiction, and they don't feel bad about it at all, and so um, they don't feel bad about it. On top of that, they just keep doing it, and so you make bad decisions, and that's why I ran away to California, because I've always wanted to live in California, and I finally got here. But it took a lot of steps for me to get here. So yesterday I went to the depression group instead of the addiction group, love, sex addiction, food addiction. Okay, so I am a trained pharmacist. I know what addiction looks like. I mean, I'm not the Dr. Drew of recovery celebrity drug addiction stuff. I mean, he's a medical physician, doctor that went and got his, what do you call it? He's a doctor certified, probably in addiction recovery. As a pharmacist, I've had lots of training in drug addiction because that's what we do. I mean, pharmacists study drugs. I've studied drugs for the 13 years. I just told you I went to pharmacy school 3 times. And because the first time, I passed. The second time I failed because I was in a destructive relationship with a Muslim. He was Sufi, I guess, Sufi Muslim, and I had no idea what that is. But it was a Sufi Muslim that my Muslim family didn't even appreciate or like. And so they forced me to break up with him, which is, now selfish. You're selfish. Shit. If I would have gotten married to that Sufi Muslim now, shit, I would be rich. I would have kids. Yeah, I wouldn't be the Prince of Bel-Air, but shit, I probably would be close to being income from him, a spouse as a dentist, and me as a pharmacist. Ooh, so fuck you. To my family, Muslim family. And so that spiritual abuse just continues and continues and continues and continues and continues. And it's continued for 30 years. And so I call it out today and say, Satan, Muslim Lebanese family, you have no power or control over me anymore. I claim my Muslim past as an Iraqi Muslim. And I also claim my past as a Iraqi what do you call it? Iraqi Reformed Christian, because in my mind, that Muslims really are all Christian, because Muslims were born from the Christian religion. Christian is the umbrella of where the Muslims came from. So don't fucking dick with me anymore on that. And if they do, which they will, because they just want to have like a higher level of bullshit over you. My pastors always said, don't fight flesh with flesh, and that hasn't served me well. I'm homeless because of that. So sometimes you do have to fight flesh with flesh, and that's how I do it here. So that's what I have the platform and the, what do you call it? That's what I have the platform for here on YouTube. So that's what I'm going to do. And so I went to Saudi Arabia as Muslim. And that was in October 2012. And, I cried my eyes out, and I didn't realize that God was healing me of all that spiritual abuse, and of all that spiritual abuse that came from my my Lebanese Muslim in-laws. They're all in-laws, and um, so I call it out, and I had to block them, and because they're, viciously cruel. At this point in my life, it's like, you got nothing to offer me anymore. I helped you raise your kids, and you did nothing for me. So except made me a drunk and a food addict and a spendaholic, and I got myself out of it. So anyway, I don't want anything to do with them. And they did that with every boyfriend that I dated. And then I met another Jordanian Muslim guy. He's an accountant, and God, they made him actually cry. He was going to propose to me, and they came in and broke it up, and to piss me or my mom or my dad off. I mean, I don't know why they do such things, but basically you saw it play out, what they did to President Trump. And that's basically what they did with me, with every man that I fell in love with and wanted to marry. So I'm not saying that I'm President Trump, or like him. What I am saying, though, is the cruelty of humanity just plays out in TV. And if, you guys don't stand up and say, I'm going to stand for this, like Simone Biles did against sexual abuse victims in the USA Gymnastics. If you're not going to stand up and say, I'm standing up for this woman, she suffered so much fucking harm, me, that I want to be married and have a child. And so nobody does that for me. Nobody's done that for me ever in my life. And so enough to get, the outcome of a baby shower and a wedding shower, so anyway, so thanks for letting me share on that one too. I was triggered yesterday because I signed up for, I can't say the county or the city, but I signed up for a foster adoption for me to be a foster parent because, I have a home here, right? I mean, I'm living here, so I want to be a mother. And so the phone call came when I was watching my Wendy Williams show. And so I took it and I went in the bathroom just to have some privacy. And so, there are a lot of children who I could foster. And she talked to me about that and how would I qualify. So she told me the qualifications, basically a small income, which, I think I can do. And in an apartment of my own, which, I'm in the process of. So that's why I'm in the housing project right now, because they only house, all the states really only house Mexicans. They don't house people like me, white and black people. So if they did, we wouldn't be homeless. So I get to say that. And I know it sounds racist, but you guys are racist in the housing development program. So I've been challenging, this housing development programs really big time through God, through my prayers. And, it's not where I wanted to be, but shoot, you got me here. So, that's what I'm going to fight for. I'm done fighting for sexual abuse victims because you guys never fought for me. And I'm not fighting for you anymore. So it's not my role in United States of America to do that. It is my role, though, to call out my sister-in-laws for allowing me to be, stuck in a porn ring, and that they are responsible for. And so I will never forgive them for that. I did get out. And I never will re-enter that again ever in my life. And that was painful as hell to get out of that. So again, talking about a lot of stuff that's not children. What do you call it? Safe maybe, but I can still be a mother. There are women who are porn addicts that have children, and just because you have a sexual addiction does not mean that you can't have children. What it does mean is that you have to be, sober, and you have to be, I don't know, a good parent, basically. So, I mean, did my parents have a sexual porn addiction? Probably. They had 5 kids. So, anywho, long story short, I do qualify to be a foster parent, and I do realize too that that's a big commitment. So, oh, let me think about it, pray about it. I prayed to God yesterday after that phone call, and this is where I'm at today. Put some makeup on so I look decent. And am I ready, to make another human being, um, more of a priority than myself? Yes, I am. Am I willing to take care of special? No, I don't want a retarded person. I don't want a special needs person. I just want a normal baby, like I was to my mom. I was a normal baby out of the womb, and that's what I want. Just one child. Um, and so how would I prepare for that? I'm going to prepare for that like this, evaluating my expenses for the last year, and how can I, reevaluate my budget to include money to spend on a child. So that means I have to take some money out. I have to take some spending out of my life completely, to open up a gap for me to be able to spend on a child. And I have no idea what those expenses are right now because I've never had a child. So, but I can imagine it's going to be food and transportation, because you got to drive them back and forth to school. Because it's not like how it used to be with us. We walked to school. And anyway, so it's a big commitment. On the other hand, I'm excited about it. So those are the kind of the two decisions. Do I hire a personal trainer for my obesity? Number two, do I analyze all the money that I've spent in the last year and where it went and stop spending? Do I sell my car and buy a new car or a new used car? And how do I get my title? And I know how to do that, but the address. And I'm still living 2 hours away from my mailing address, so I have to deal with that as well. And lastly, I have to prepare to pay for my car insurance and my car registration, what comes up in January. So that's the reason that I have to stop and look at what money is coming in and what money isn't coming in, so that I can save up for my car insurance, which it'll be some money and a chunk of change because I pay it all at once, and my car registration, which is $220, and my pharmacist license, that's already paid for. I paid for it myself, and what do you call it? So that's good until July, though, July 2021. So that's coming up. That means my renewal is going to come up in June of 2021. So that's something else that I have to plan for. So all these damn expenses, and the pharmacist license in Michigan allows me to be able to work in the federal government system. So I could work in a federal prison. I could work at the VA Medical Center, which are VA Veterans Administration hospitals in any state in the United States. So I could work there. But I just have to be careful because anytime I apply for a job, somebody else takes it. And so the stealing and kleptomania that I've suffered as a result of being so open about my, requirements to want to work has been overwhelmingly depressing and anxiety producing and almost suicidal. So I sit next to a person whose husband committed suicide, and that was a wake up call to me. In many ways, I need to make money and I need to start working again. And I also need to stop fighting about it. So if you don't want to give me a job here, then, I'll just get up and go to someone who does want to give me a job. So the annual pharmacy convention is happening. It starts December 3rd. Today is December 2nd. So it starts tomorrow. And normally I would go. And I would only go for CE, but I've already have all my CE. So I decided not to go because it's a cost. It's a chunk of change that I don't have money for. And it's not really. So I will go next year, though, because that's when my cycle starts again about my CE. So when I did my first video or my first couple of videos, I said I was going to give up on the pharmacist license stuff. And I've had a week to think about it. And that probably wouldn't be a smart thing to do. Because in case a job does open up, I'd be prepared to take it. So, because it's easier than taking the boards. It's easier to work at a VA in California than it is to take the boards. So I can do that. And, don't ask about logistics because it's crazy. It's not worth fighting at Sacramento. And, you got to pick your battles. That's like, somebody, my brother saying to me as an engineer, oh, May, I think you should be, an astronaut. And I'm like, yeah, thanks for your advice, but it's not helpful anymore because I'm not interested in becoming an astronaut. And I'm not interested in taking the pharmacy boards again and going through that, what do you call it? Ravishing soul. I mean, to sit in an 8-hour exam, with me with toxic anxiety and depression and food issues and diabetes and sleep apnea and asthma, to sit in an exam for 8 hours. Are you kidding? Without a calculator, you have to use a calculator on whatever and do sine and cosine and all this, like calculus stuff, trigonometry or whatever they do, no thanks. I choose this path and I choose this path. I'm going to stay here. I just learn how to stay broke, I guess, or learn how to not live as a pharmacist anymore until they let me. So they'll let me by opening a job up for me, calling me and saying, I got a job for you. I'm going to keep the office open until you get here. And I know you're a good pharmacist, so we'll open up an office for you and we'll let you work at the office, So when they do that, let me know. Otherwise, screw you. I gave up. Okay. Different subject. Alcoholics Anonymous is a great 12-step program, so I'm going to stay in that. And I just basically flip to a page and kind of and pick a, what do you call it? Pick a paragraph to read. So that's what I'm going to do. Oh, student of life, chapter 6. Living at home with her parents, she tried using willpower to beat the obsession to drink. Now, this is, for me, it's the obsession to eat. Okay, so food and eating is my addictions that I'm not going to relapse in anymore because I'm in these programs. But it wasn't until she met another alcoholic and went into AA meeting that sobriety took hold. Okay, so I'm going to skip over to that page 327. It is almost impossible to adequately describe how much the program has given me. Even in just these 6 short years, I have been financially supporting myself in my own apartment for 5 years, and I plan to buy a house next year. I've secured a good job with a promising future. My income has increased more than 150% since I got sober, and that's what I'm praying. My income increases by 150% since I got sober, which was what do you call it? October, really, 2012 is when I got sober. So I want my income back. Amen. But just as material losses are not necessary to indicate alcoholism, material gains are not the true indication of sobriety. The real rewards aren't material in nature. I have friends now because I know how to be a friend. And I know how to nurture and encourage valuable relationships. Instead of the prolonged one-night stands I used to call my boyfriends, there is a special man in my life I've been involved with for almost 5 years. And most importantly, I know who I am. I know my goals, dreams, values, and boundaries, and I know how to protect, nurture, and validate them. Those are the true rewards of sobriety, and they're what I was looking for all along. I am so grateful that my higher power stepped in to show me the way to the truth. I pray every day that I never turn my back on it. Help me never turn my back on God, my higher power. I came to AA in order to stop drinking. What I received in return was my life back. And that applies for me as well. So, later, let's see, as I spoke, I looked around the room. More importantly, I looked at the faces of the people in the room and I saw it. I saw the understanding, the empathy, the love. Today, I believe I saw my higher power for the first time in those faces. While still up at the podium, it hit me. This is what I had been looking for all my life. This was the answer right here in front of me. Indescribable relief came over me. I knew the fight was over. Later on that night, still reeling in the ecstasy of relief and hope, I remember the afternoon in the bathroom stall at college after my first class when I was so certain I had found the answer in alcohol. I could clearly see now that had been a lie. That is the description that fits alcohol best for me. It is a lie. Alcohol is really a lie. And I started drinking only because I was forced to, encouraged, I guess, not forced, but encouraged by my Filipino Asian dentist friend, and at the age of 21. And she ruined my life basically. Um, so so we don't talk anymore, thank God. Because she still drinks and I don't. So that is the description that fits alcohol best for me. It is a lie, an evil, insidious lie. And I chased that lie for a long time, even when it was obvious that I was going nowhere and killing myself while doing it. At that AA meeting, when I looked out over all those faces, I finally saw the truth. When I returned home, I threw myself into AA. I did 90 meetings in 90 days, got a sponsor, and joined a home group. I did reach out to, yeah, accountability partner, so hopefully she'll text me back and want to meet. If not, then I'll reach out to somebody else. Yeah, she hasn't responded. Make sure. No, she hasn't responded. Bummer. All right. When I returned home, I threw myself into AA. I did 90 meetings in 90 days, got a sponsor, and joined a home group. I did everything that was suggested. I made coffee, took commitments, and got involved with service. I rode the roller coaster of early sobriety. Every second was worth it to get to where I am today. It is very important to my recovery to study and work the steps. So I guess my alternative could be doing the steps. So I'll do my homework that I haven't done really in probably 3 weeks. And I ate breakfast. I should go for a walk. I did find a trail, so I'm going to do a trail. And they have released, I mean, not released, but they've kind of stopped treating me like a prisoner in a warden system here. So they're a little bit more relaxed on this curfew bullshit. So it is very important to my recovery to study and work through the steps. To this day, I still make at least 2 step meetings a week. I have a sponsor who guides me through the steps gently but firmly, with a sure-handedness. I hope I'm able to emulate with the 2 women I now sponsor. The promises have begun to materialize for me, and there is still so much work to do. It is also almost impossible to adequately describe how much the program has given me. Even in these just 6 short years, I've been financially supporting myself in my own apartment for 5 years and plan to buy a house next year. I've secured a good job with a promising future. My income has increased more than 150%. So I'll get back to my Muslim spiritual abuse family and their names. The first sister-in-law is named Fadia Shaheen with a Chahine, and she changed her name to Layla, so she appears, American. Layla, with our last name, and she's a bitch from hell, and I've never gotten along with her from the day I met her. I've never gotten along with her. She's been so evil, competitive with me that my mom and dad came in between us many times, and when I lived with her in 2016, that was the worst year of my life, and so I still abhor her, and her Muslim attitudes are so ungodly, it's ridiculous, and she knows it. She knows what a bitch she really is. She's born in July. She's a Leo, and she's just a gruesome individual to be around. And she's a nicotine addict. So that's her. The second sister-in-law is named Nejmi Habhab. That's her maiden name. And she changed her name to Nina so she could be American and lie to everybody, right? And also my last name. And she's also Lebanese. Both of them are Lebanese Muslims. And she's the kind of Lebanese Muslim that is very sneaky. She will get into your deepest, darkest secret and pray against you and use sorcery and spiritual abuse and ruin your life. And so she's not in your face. Like Layla is more in my face, screaming at, differences. They're both nicotine addicts. And that's what drug addicts too. So I don't do well with drug addicts at all. Um, and what do you call it? And so that's my second sister-in-law, very gruesomely evil. And she's prayed against me all my life not to have kids or get married. And she won, obviously. I'm divorced. So, it sucks and I hate them and I don't want them in my life. And the third sister-in-law is the same country I'm from, but she's got an Iranian background. She's Kurdish, and Kurdish are originally from Iran, and I'm not Kurdish. And she's also a Muslim, so Iranian Muslim, and she too is highly sneaky, very competitive, very very jealous and envious, and downright rude to your face. And so, I had my words with her and I left, and that was it for that one. So we don't speak at all. We never spoke actually since the day she got married, which was like 20 years ago. We have really never spoken once, maybe twice. Like speaking to a sister-in-law only 3 times in 20 years is, obviously toxic. As a matter of fact, I've spoken with my first sister-in-law more than I've spoken with the Kurdish one. So anyway, so that's a spiritual abuse that they've done to me all my life. It's about time I speak about it because, I hope their kids watch this. I really do, because number one, they need to see my side. Number two, they need to learn about spiritual abuse. And number three, they need to, not practice that, witchcraft on their aunt, which is me, So if you practice witchcraft as a Muslim, I will punch you literally in the face. And that's what I did to my sister before I left. And we never called the police, thank God. And we made up. And so on the other hand, I did my sister a favor by marrying her off. And so she could stay away from me for life, because she takes my sister-in-law's side. She never took my side ever in my whole life. So that's the misogyny. That misogyny is the name for severe hatred against a woman. Me as a woman, I've experienced severe hatred against me as a woman most of my life. And so, so they put a name on it, which is called misogyny. And I hadn't heard misogyny before ever until I entered recovery. And I heard about misogyny once I got into the church in recovery. So I guess you can consider me a spokesperson against misogyny in particular, because I've experienced it my whole life. My mom has, as an obese woman who has been obese most of her life. And now, I was obese. Now I'm considered overweight. And so I don't want to walk into that obesity lifestyle anymore. And so it requires a lot of discipline. Part of the discipline is drinking water, in the morning, 1 liter in the morning, 1 liter at night, or 1 liter, whatever, after I work out, which I'm going to work out after this, actually, instead of waiting until nighttime. So today is Wednesday. I got nothing planned but working out. I'm going to lift weights and I'm going to do cardio. And if any Mexican woman or man gets in my fucking face today, I'm going to go right to the principal's office and report them for being rude and not wearing a face mask, not cleaning machine. So now that I know the rules there, I can do it right back to you too. So I have no contact with my sister-in-laws because of their extreme misogyny. And it's their sin. It's not my sin. So there's no need for me to walk in depression, and commit suicide because of their misogynistic ways. What would I say to the 12 kids? Get the hell out of there. Go to college. Don't become like your mother or your father. Read God's will for your life and pray for God's will for the rest of your fucking life. Because that's one thing that I never prayed for, is God's will in my life. I didn't know how to do that until I became Christian. So So here I am praying for God's will. May God's will, envelope me, Lord Jesus, for the rest of my life until the day I die. May I continue to fight for misogyny that's been kind of plastered all over my face and my work life. And God, one day I will be a poster child for misogyny, but today not, no Satan in my life today. I can't handle it anymore. So just stop doing that. So, I am excited. I mean, the way I would get revenge against my sister-in-laws would be the same way they got revenge. They got pregnant and had a baby. I'm not going to get pregnant, obviously, but I can adopt a baby, and I can become a foster parent. So that's my revenge. I'm planning to carry that through. And my best revenge would be, to take a picture of my baby and my, future second husband and say, fuck you, Muslim bitches from hell. Assalamu alaikum, bitches from hell. Um, I did it without you, and I'm happy as hell, and I need you to stay out of my life. So that's what I would say to the kids. Pray for me to be married and have a child of my own and become a homeowner and employed enough to be able to afford housing like the Mexicans afford housing here. And this is my happy face right here. So you can pray for me to get that kind of life back. I was happy as hell here. I was in LA Fitness here. And I want LA Fitness to open. I was in LA Fitness happy as hell a year ago, and I want that happy face back. I want my happy face back. This is not a happy face. Um, LA Fitness is the only gym that keeps me a happy face, um, and so there's no reason to compromise that. Um, So that's that. I think I've said enough. 56 minutes, 57. I'm going to take a 3-minute meditation, and then I'm going to sign off. Thank you for watching, sharing, and encouraging me to do this video blog. It's brand new to me, and it's been an extreme release because I don't have friends that can listen to me for an hour every day. And so I'm going to do this hour video blog because it helps me vent, it helps me heal, and I don't have anybody to talk back at me. So here goes the meditation. Okay, um, that was a long meditation. It's 4 minutes past the hour. So, um, thank you. That was very healing, and I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to this change. Whatever God's doing in my life is going to be good for me physically and financially. So, thank you.